Hey y'all, I want to go ahead and talk about the makeup work opportunity. I don't know if you've seen this link here on our homepage. So here I've got a little video, Eye of the Tiger from Survivor, because this is the home stretch. We need some musical inspiration, so take a look at that if you need a little pump up. Okay, so let's take a look at this makeup work opportunity. So click this link here. Alright, so let me go ahead and read through this and I'll explain as things come up. Students may complete up to 4 practice sessions to make up for any unsubmitted minor projects and or unsubmitted revisions. One practice session can count for one unsubmitted or incomplete minor project. So say for example you didn't submit the annotated bibliography, you could go ahead and choose to complete a practice session in place of that. Or say for example you needed to revise the annotated bibliography but perhaps you'd rather not. You could go ahead and complete one of these practice sessions to make up for that unsubmitted revision of that minor project. Now, if you would like to take advantage of this to make up for an unsubmitted revision of Major Essay Project 1, some of you need to revise Major Essay Project 1, but perhaps at this point it's, you maybe don't have time or you'd rather allocate your efforts elsewhere. You would need to complete 3 practice sessions to make up for an unsubmitted revision of Major Essay Project 1. So you would have to complete 3 of them according to their standards. All students, though, must submit Major Essay Project 2 in order to pass the course. So that's not an option. You can't decide, oh cool, I'm just going to do some practice sessions instead of doing the polished draft of Major Essay Project 2. That does not count. You can't do that, okay? The practice sessions must be completed according to their individual guidelines. For example, if the practice session specifies that you spend a certain amount of time researching or writing, then you must adhere to that. So some of the practice sessions will stipulate a certain time limit or time frame to do something. So it might say spend 60 minutes researching blah blah blah, or spend 30 minutes reflecting and writing on X, Y, or Z. So you would need to adhere to that specific time constraint, okay? And it's usually at least, so obviously if you get engrossed in it you can do more, but at least that time, okay? If the practice session instructs you to write an essay, the essay must be at least 2 full pages in length, formatted according to MLA guidelines. Okay, so there will be, in some instances, they might say, now that you've spent some time doing blah, write an essay in which you address X, Y, or Z. And so if that is the case for the practice session you would want to complete, then it would need to be at least 2 full pages in length. It could be longer, but at least 2 full pages. Any drawings or images that may go along with the practice session must be included with your submission. So in some cases it might ask you to draw something. So you need to take a picture of whatever it is that you drew and submit that along with your practice session. Or it might ask you to create some kind of visual, so you would need to include some kind of image of that with your submission. And I'll explain where to submit that in a second. If completing more than one practice session, try to do ones in a single sequence. For example, some practice sessions have multiple parts. So this will be clear as you look down here. So here's one right here from the section on looking and looking again. The practice session 1, part 1, and then practice session 1, part 2. These are intended to be done in a sequence. So if you wanted to do more than one practice session, I'm going to encourage you to try to find ones in a single sequence. Not necessarily, but I'm just going to encourage you to do so. So one right here, this practice session 1 has 3 parts. Right, so those are 3 different practice sessions, but they are in a sequence. They're kind of designed to work together. So I'm going to encourage you to do that if you're completing more than one. When you submit it, you'll want to clearly label each practice session you complete. So which practice session is it and on what pages can it be found? So you could just title it, okay, if you did this one, practice session 1, Alice's feet, Habits of the Creative Mind, pages 6 through 7. So that could be the title of the practice session, just so I'm not left guessing what practice session you're completing. So I have this list of all the ones that you can choose from, but there are quite a few. And the reason I created this list is they're all from sections that we read throughout the semester. So you already have that foundational understanding of whatever it was that that section was talking about. It just make more sense that way. So this is the list that I want you to choose from, and I'll show you how to submit all these in the modules in my next video. So go ahead and stay tuned.